On this episode of Beer, Blues, and BS, Big D returns, and that means we're some wrestling. We're going to talk all about WWE possibly selling. We're going to also list our top 10 worst tag team names. And Kidder is bringing back the Impossible Music Challenge Wrestling Edition. It's going to be a good time. You're in a good place. Welcome to the show.
It's Howard Blues and V. Mark Kidder. Pour a cold beverage, pull up a seat, enjoy time with friends.
Triple B! Well, the Triple B sucks. Okay? Come on.
Whatever, man. This is Beer, Blues, and BS. Online at beerbluesbs.com.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Beer, Blues, and BS, the podcast that resembles a Japanese game show where whether you win or lose, everybody goes home with a concussion. I'm your host, Howard Blues, here, as always, with my co-host, the man, the myth, the legend, the Mark Kidder. Kidder, how you doing tonight?
What year is it? Sorry, that kind of came out of nowhere. You know what? I think I'm okay, but I'm not as thin as you drunk I am. So there's that too. Howard Blues, how are you doing with all of your personalities?
Well, you know, we had a meeting. There was a vote, and there's some decisions and things I'm going to have to live with. But you know, for the most part, I'm doing all right.
Fair to Midland, great. Wonderful. Mediocrity. That's what we strive to not accomplish on this show. Thanks for joining us.
No, Kidder, I mean, to use the catchphrase, it's been a week. It has just been a crazy week. I have sat through more meetings this week than I'm used to. I had one day where I just went from meeting to meeting to meeting to meeting to meeting to meeting. I hardly sat down. You know, at my desk. I was just on the move that much. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what it is about this January. Usually January is like one of the absolute quietest months at work, but it's crazy this year. Just crazy.
We should get to drinking. And before we start drinking, it seems that somebody weaseled their way back into the bar, even though they were put on the ban list.
That's the problem with cookie gnomes, Kidder. You can't get rid of them. They just keep coming back. And that's right, ladies and gentlemen. If you didn't get it from that hint, he's back for more trolling and abuse. It's everybody's favorite, the minister of trolling here at the Triple B. Big D is back with us. Big D, how are you doing tonight?
Well, I just have a sudden urge to say cookie for some reason. I don't know why. But yeah,
you had your hand in the perfect position right there, like right about here.
Oh, it resonated with through the mic?
No, with the cookies. It resonated with the cookies. Howard knows what I'm talking about, so don't worry about it. It'll be fine.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's gonna be one of those nights, is it?
It's always one of those nights. Thanks for joining us.
True story. But now doing all right. End of another week, another chilly week here in the El Forco Grande. But always good to be back here with the Sub-Zero and Ermac of internet podcasting, Howard Blues and Mark Kidder.
Fatality.
For the record, it was going to be Sub-Zero and Scorpion, but then you started talking about multiple personalities, so then Ermac kind of jumped in with the whole conglomeration of voices in Mortal Kombat canon.
I don't think
we understand that logic.
It was almost Locutus and Ermac, and I think you know who you would have been, Kidder. But they're not in the same series, so just went with Is Sub-Zero bald? I don't know. I don't think he is, because there are some incarnations of him without a mask and that headgear, and I think he does have hair. So sorry.
Yeah, the only bald Mortal Kombat character. Well, I guess there's a couple, because there's Kano. Baraka is technically bald, but, you know, his species just doesn't have hair. Shao Kahn kind of falls in that, too. Yeah, not really a lot of bald fighters in Mortal Kombat.
I think later incarnations of Ermac, now that I think about it, without the hood, because he's not masked in, like, Mortal Kombat 10 or 11. With the hood down, he does have kind of a bald, mummified head. So, kind of. That works.
Yeah. I mean, he's really just a husk of a shell occupied by thousands of souls.
So any one of us, maybe.
It does sound like Howard Blues.
People are going to think that, especially with all the different incarnations of Howard that we have running around on this show. We got past Howard, current Howard, Howard the ref, future Howard. There's a lot of Howards.
What I'm saying. So I'm thirsty. You guys thirsty? And
Sure.
by you guys, I mean all of Howard.
We require beer.
What?
Okay. I guess that means it's time for what's on tap.
I guess we can do this. Big D,
Oh,
start us off.
I'm going first? Okay, cool. Well, it's been one of those weeks, so I decided to get a little stupid, adventurous, maybe synonymous. I don't know. But I felt like something green for no damn reason. I got some little bit of Four Loko sour apple. I haven't even opened it yet. I'm already regretting it. 14%, so I'm going to nurse this.
For about the first 20 minutes.
Yeah, right. See here. Nothing really about this. Just Surgeon General's warning and then how much booze per serving is in there. And I already don't care. So this is something I've actually tried before. I did see the America Four Loko that you had one of their first times I was on the show. I almost got it. Then I realized, no, I remember Kidder did not enjoy that. So, nah.
It'll make you want to have multiple personalities.
Oh, wow. Why am I doing this to myself? It's like sour battery acid and sadness.
I was going to say I've never actually had a Four Loko, so I have avoided that misery. But I did see a video this week where some poor guy had picked up what he thought was an energy drink and he was drinking it. His girlfriend was like, "Why are you drinking that?" "What do you mean? It's an energy drink." And she's like, "Read the can." He starts reading it. "Well, it's Four Loko. What's It's an energy drink." She goes, "Read all of the can." He goes, 14% alcohol. "Whoa, there's alcohol in this?" She's like, "Yeah." He goes, "But I don't drink." Imagine that was
now, buddy.
Yeah. Kidder, what are you having tonight?
I suppose that there's something around here that I could probably drink. Getting low, as you can see here. Running out. But I have a shelf of lemonades. So let's cheers to summer. And I had one of these on the show. So no, I won't do that one. But I didn't have this one. This is a peach. The peach flavored Smirnoff Ice lemonade. Says right on it, must be 21 to purchase. Brewed in can by Smirnoff Company, Plainfield, Illinois. Drink responsibly. Now let's see here. Premium malt beverage, natural flavors, and certified colors. Remember, they are having to be certified because any regular colors just won't do. 4.5% alcohol by volume, 12 fluid ounces in this here peachy can. Here we go. It definitely smells like peach, so I'll give it that it actually smells like real peach. Big D sniffed his and shook his head as he pointed at it. I know it smells like a car battery with acid oozing out of it next to a Jolly Rancher of that flavor, kind of soaking up the battery acid. So this one, if you like peach, this one would probably be for you. Very sweet. Like I said, the certified colors in here help to make it taste like actual peach. So I guess if you like sweet and you like alcohol, this will get you jacked up pretty quick. Give it a 2.5.
Well, Kidder, I got something quasi-local. I think you actually had this on the show last week. It's hard to remember. I kind of blacked out a lot of last week's episode. But I am having this evening from the Black Leg Brewery out of Mackenzie, North Dakota. It is a bison beer. It is a Vienna-style lager. I think you had this last one. I think you... No? Maybe that was Local Geek. I could have sworn somebody had it on the show. But with everybody we had on the show last week, it was hard to kind of keep track of all that. Let's see. North Dakota grain, artesian well water, made in the USA. It is 5.4% alcohol per volume. The story on the back here, the ranch story. Homesteaded in 1882, Blackleg Ranch is a sixth-generation family-operated cattle and bison ranch, home to abundant grasslands just off the mighty Missouri River. We pride ourselves in honoring our rich Western history and traditions of the past, while working hard to regenerate and diversify our operation, creating opportunities and new traditions for future generations. Yeah. It's got a real thick taste for a lager. And I don't know that I'm a fan of that aftertaste. That is just not a good aftertaste. Well, this is going to be a fight tonight, Kidder, to get through this thing. God, I think I got to rate this like a 2. Maybe a 1.5. It is not good. You know, Kidder, we're going to have to really think about what we want to drink for episode 100, because we are just 5 episodes away from the big episode 100, which, hey, reminds me, folks, you have an opportunity to win a little bit of Triple B merch. That's right. We're putting up one of our classic logo pint glasses. All you have to do is 3 easy steps. Step 1, subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's pretty easy. Costs you nothing. Just hit that subscribe button. That's all we ask. Step 2, take and share your favorite piece of Triple B content to your Facebook page. Share it with your family and friends. And while you do that, you can do the 3rd step, which is make sure you tag us at Beer Blues and BS the podcast. That way we know you did it. And if you do those things, on episode 100, we'll have a live drawing, and somebody could win that glass. I say could, Kidder, because so far we have 0 entries. So listen, your odds are great right now to do it. Just make sure that you have done it by February 16th, because that gives me like all of a day to put together the list of names. So make sure you get in on that. Get a chance to get your own Triple B pint glass. We'll mail it off to you. It'll be great. Good times. Everybody will have a blast. But I'm looking forward to episode 100. We're going to have to think about what we're going to talk about, because I don't know about you, Kidder, but I was not expecting the plethora of guests we had last week. It was fun. Don't get me wrong, but it's kind of like, well, gosh, we had like everybody on the show.
Not everybody.
Not everybody, but just about everybody.
The show would be on the
17th.
Well, March 3rd officially, when the announcement will air.
Yes.
So mark it on your calendar now. March 3rd, 2023, 3/3/23 for number 100.
Yeah. And then, like all of like a month later, we'll have our 2-year anniversary on the show. So we're coming up on that. April 11th was the birthday of the Triple B. And Kidder, we have talked about it. We need to have some more discussion, but the last time we mentioned the 2-year anniversary, we talked about doing that show live. So it
might
be
as well
interesting.
can't get any worse.
Well, Kidder, while we are stalling, once again, I'm back at the paint desk, and yeah, I'm still continuing to assemble bones models. So it, just continuing to make progress. It is fun.
How fun is it?
More fun than a box of rocks.
Well, rocks.
Mm.
Are they
Somewhere-
straight rocks out of the your parking lot, or maybe a rock garden, or are they polished rocks?
Well, I wasn't going to get that technical,
Hmm.
And I'm sure we're already going to get hate mail from some geologist out there like, rocks are a lot of fun. You should respect those rocks. Rocks are great.
I almost said your parents don't watch this show, but then I'm like, they're not really geologists. Are they? They are, but they're not.
So
In the realm.
Both of my parents and my sister are geological engineers. So I got a lot of rock lickers in the family.
For the fact, just remember, all three of you, if in the event that you ever see this, he said it, and I condone that statement. You can like rocks and still be cool.
I mean, who do you think I learned the term rock licker from? Geologists are known as rock lickers because there are certain rocks that you can identify by taste. I'm not making this up. It's not an insult. It's a fact.
Okay.
This has been Geology Facts with Howard, a segment that will only probably appear this one time, and one time only.
You know what you should have done? What you should have done is said, in the history of geology, it's been widely known by at least 4 people that you can lick a rock and potentially tell what it is. They call it rock licking. And then you could use the history with Howard. But no!
I just like that we're still talking about licking rocks. Big D just came back and he's like, sat there for a little bit. And he's like, I'm not drunk enough for this. And starts taking big gulps on the Four Loko.
You're not wrong.
The ultimate rock licker himself.
No, I was going to make some sort of
Snow
smart ass comment about licking rocks, but then you beat me to it. So I'm like, okay, well played. I'll get the next one. Comment, that is. Shut up.
The snow cones, just, lemonade flavor. Right? Lemonade flavor? Snow?
No.
Probably your favorite.
No.
All right. Okay. So glad you're back. Welcome back.
Why, thank you.
Did
have to tell the new guy at work who is from Texas, first time seeing snow in his life. I did have to warn him, don't eat the yellow snow, because I can't assume he knows these things. He's from Texas and never seen snow before.
Somewhere far was like, hey, we
But
get
it's
snow in
California.
Texas.
Oh, that's right. He lives in Texas now.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But for as much time as he spent up here, he has seen snow, so I would assume he knows better than to do that. He's had enough winter weather familiarity.
Right.
I'm assuming things.
Yeah, no. That was once I said the word assume, I realized my error.
You know what happens when you assume something.
You take on its shape and form.
That was almost as deep as licking rocks. Yeah, but Farva, I think he's a transplanted Texan now, so he's down there hanging out. And then one of my coworkers who actually has seen more than one episode and actually watched or listened to the episode, unlike Lane, is from Texas as well. I actually told him today, I'm like, you should watch our show again because it's been a while. He's like, well, what are some of the good ones? And I'm like, all of them. It's like, that doesn't narrow it down. I'm like, I know. So start watching again.
I was also gonna say that's not necessarily true. There are a couple rough ones out there. So the one that came out tonight, though, killer episode. It was good. I laughed while I was editing it. Big D gets a shout out in it. So
Yeah, that's what I was afraid of.
come on. It's all fun.
Oh yeah.
I mean, truthfully, if anybody's gotten the most shout outs when it comes to the show, Big D, it's you, because starting at about episode 8, we made a point of shouting you out almost in every episode and how you were still standing us up being on this show until you finally came on the show like 40 some episodes later. So,
Hey, I was leaving North Carolina and coming back to North Dakota. You know what the best part about the North Carolina was? Freaking leaving.
Watching it appear in your mirror.
Oh yeah. Drove away with
listeners and
that particular
viewers in
place.
North Carolina will now unsubscribe. So thanks, Big D.
No problem.
we here at the Triple B, would like to just point out that all of the comments and opinions made by Big D do not reflect the thoughts and feelings of the Triple B.
Yeah.
Implying there are thoughts involved. But
He's got jokes. That's what happens when you are a joke.
Hey, at least he's contributing to the show. I mean, you gotta give him that. He's creating content,
All right.
may not be good content, but it's content.
Yep, the thing is definitely rolling, that's for sure.
Which, speaking of rolling,
Downhill.
yeah. I mean, we reported, Kidder, and I by report, I mean, because by the time anybody sees this, of course, our news is like 2 weeks old. But we did mention on the show that Vince McMahon has made his return to the WWE and that he was looking to sell the company. And he's wasted no time on this maneuver.
Yeah.
Do you got more in-depth thoughts on it than that, or?
I think it's a total Vince McMahon power move. I think that he not only forced his way back in, but now he's going to be investigated by the Federal Trade Commission and sued by one or more of the board members who were forced out as part of this. And even Stephanie McMahon resigned because she can't / doesn't want to work with her father. And there's all kinds of other articles out there about the potential buyer of WWE, the people in the pool to potentially buy WWE, including Comcast, Universal, NBC, or the Saudi Arabian Crown Royalty, because, I mean, they have enough money to buy anything, so they could do that. Even AEW throwing their hat in the ring of, hey, we could merge or something, So there is that. But what'll happen? I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. And thankfully, Triple H, Paul Levesque will still be the head of creative, even though Nick Khan is now the CEO. So now it's Khan versus Khan.
No. Well, I mean, Khan was the CEO. He was the co-CEO with Stephanie. So it's not like that is really changing. And he was...
Oh, it's changing because now he's the sole survivor.
I don't know that's going to have that much of an effect on it.
Or maybe he's the one behind everything.
Yeah, I don't think so.
You didn't see the meme where it had Tony Khan in the face of the Grim Reaper going down the hallway and all the dead people there, and it's like all of the board members and everybody who was fired along the way. That was
no, I don't tend to look at a lot of memes, so no. I did not see that one. Anyway, yeah, I had an actual point I was getting to make, and
make your point.
I was about to say I forgot what the point was because I had to argue about Khan. I think you just have a problem with people named Khan, Kidder. Ever since they tried to blow up the Enterprise. No, what I was going to say is I know that there was a lot of rumors around the whole like Saudi sale, including several outlets reporting that it was done, a done deal, already sold to the Saudis, and then that was quickly debunked, actually. So, although I still see it popping up, where people are still like, "Oh, I can't believe they sold to the Saudis," and other people are like, "Do some research." That's been interesting to watch people kind of freak out about this whole ordeal. Oh, I remember where I saw. Here's a fun one, Kidder. I don't know if you saw this. Somebody had taken, and this was shortly after it was announced that Vince was back, that somebody took and photoshopped a picture of Triple H and Stephanie at an AEW event that was airing. And there were people who were like, "Oh, yeah, man, they're already jumping ship," and that. And it's like, guys, this was clearly photoshopped.
But it was on the internet. It must be true.
It must be true. Well, I mean, people look at that stuff and they don't sit and analyze it or really think about it, you know. Triple H and Stephanie aren't going to go to, you know, an AEW live event. They've fired people for doing stuff like that. That's, you know, if they're going to watch it, and I'm sure they do watch it because, you know, it's good to keep tabs on the competition, they're going to do it from the comfort of their own home. Needless to say, Kidder, I've been kind of staying away from a lot of the wrestling news because I'm kind of already tired of hearing about Vince being back and all the who's he going to sell it to speculation and all of it.
Me too.
Howard.
Yeah.
Breaking news. Vince is back. Just in case you hadn't heard. Or...
Mm-hmm.
And when I'm not funny, I drink Four Loko.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to soon have the fastest beer drinker in the West, as Big D is going to consume that awfully quick.
I'm nursing it. Not well, but I'm nursing it.
Place your bets now, folks. What gets finished first? Big D's Four Loko or Howard's Bison beer? And I'll tell you, there's more Four Loko than in this beer. Well, gents, since we're talking wrestling, I thought it'd be interesting to do this, and we were going to do it last week, but with all the guests, there's no way we were going to pull this off. So we'll do it this week. But I thought it'd be interesting because there's been a lot of talk about some of the names of tag teams these days and just how not good they are. So I thought it'd be interesting to create a top 10 list of the worst tag team names out there. And it could be current, it could be in the past, just the top 10 worst tag team names that have been out there in the history of wrestling. It doesn't even have to just be from the WWE. The one caveat, this is our opinions. If you like the name or like the tag team, don't get mad at us. We're not saying that you are bad. We're just, you know, sharing that their names are stupid. In fact, it might even be great people on the team. They just have a stupid name. Who would like to go first with their
Howard
number
Blues.
10?
I don't know where that came from. Howard Blues.
Hey, thanks, Kidder. We could make Big D do it. You know, he's the guest. You know, give him honor of going first.
That's right. He came back. I always forget because he leaves randomly. So I don't know if he's ever going to finish with that. So do we want to start him on it?
Might be good. So, Big D, who's your number 10?
So
Feel
the
free to
majority
give
of my
our-
list, well, I do have 10 on my list over here. Really, only one would I place in one that I just absolutely hated, just the name. The rest are all in any kind of order. So I'll just go from the bottom up. I don't have rank numbers on them. I'm going to go with Head Cheese, which was Al Snow and Steve Lackman. They had goofy comedy. I had no problem with that part. I just couldn't take the name seriously.
Good choice. Good choice. I did rank mine. Not so bad to, I can't stand it. My number 10 is a little bit more of a category because there were too many people I could have put on for this, but I hate it when it's just blank and blank, you know, where they don't even bother to come up with a tag team. You know, it's, hey, it's, you know, Billy and Chuck. Hey, it's Santana and Ortiz. It's like, if you're going to do that, come up with an actual name, especially if they're going to have a long run. It's one thing if it's just like here recently where you had Cena and Kevin Owens partner for a single match. That's fine. That's okay. But when it's just one of those where it's like, oh, yeah, we're going to have these guys have a run, and instead of coming up with a creative name, they're just going to be, their regular names. Kidder, what do you got for number 10?
I'm just throwing out one, so I don't have them actually ranked. Foxana is on my list. Alicia Fox and Oksana. Dumb.
Big D, you're number 9.
Number 9, it had to be High Voltage. It's uninspiring. I thought they should have seen her walk down to the ring in electricians' outfits. Would have made more sense to me, which would have made no sense, let's be honest.
My number 9 was the world's greatest tag team, right? Shelton Benjamin and Charlie Haas. Because clearly they were not the world's greatest tag team, and so it was just a stupid name.
Agreed. Well picked.
Natural disasters.
What's wrong with natural disasters? I mean, it was typhoon and earthquake. Makes sense.
Yeah. But still, those are terrible names too. What did they come out, right? One of them shook the earth because he was fat, and the other one just, I don't know, sweat a lot and then threw water at him. I don't know. Sweat? Right? No.
The guy who was Typhoon, whose actual name is escaping me, he had some of the worst wrestling gimmick names. Besides Typhoon, he was also Tugboat. And then in WCW, he was the Shockmaster. That brings us over to number 8. Big D, what do you got?
The Blackjacks or the new Blackjacks. The Blackjack name does not strike me as cowboys. And it strikes me as go to Vegas and lose all your money.
My number 8 is any of the combo names. Jericho, Hookhausen.
That's just a cop-out. Come on now.
No, I mean,
collectively.
all of them. I just think it's lazy when they do that. Again, I think
lazy like your choice.
I would tend to agree with you on that, but my one exception in that category would be Rated RKO. That just I thought that combined with the characters, I thought it worked.
But see, like that, I don't, and it's kind of the same even with like RK Bro. I don't view that as a combination of their names because Edge's name isn't in that. Yes, he's the Rated R superstar.
Okay, fair point.
So it worked. There was some like thought besides we've just shoved these two names together. RK Bro is kind of the same way. There's actually something kind of as much as I didn't like it when it first came out, I've grown to appreciate that it's at least somewhat clever. That's better than just mashing the names together. Kidder, what's your better than my number 8? Number 8.
Ding Dong.
Who made up the Ding Dongs? I don't remember them.
It was a WCW tag team, and they really weren't good enough to even be listed on where I found them.
I'm on it.
They had masks.
I mean, I'd want a mask too if I was, part of that tag team with that name.
That was Jim Evans and Richard Sartain. Sartain, Sartain.
Brings us to number 7. Big D, what do you got?
3 count. Because not just a name, it's what everyone is trying to get in every single damn match. 3 count, 3 count, 3 count. Let's go for the 3 count. What does Shane Helms have to do with this? Nothing. I'm just being cynical at this point.
Aren't we all? My number 7 was the High Flyers, which was a 1970s tag team made up of Greg Gagne and Jim Brunzell. I took notes because I was like, who are these? Which is the fact that like at one point, like in the 1970s, high flying, you didn't even go off the third, the top rope. It was a lot of like off the second rope. So the fact that they were the High Flyers nowadays, it's just like, what's the exciting? People didn't start going off the top rope until Jimmy Superfly Snuka in the 80s. Kidder, who you got for 7?
The Kings of Wrestling, Cesaro and Chris Hero. Why are they kings? They don't have royal names. Yeah, they're good. At least Cesaro is.
Big D, what do you got for number 6?
Number 6 is the Mean Street Posse. I've been to Connecticut. I'm sure as you get closer to New York, it might be kind of mean. I don't know. We've never been to Greenwich, in fairness. spent some time around Meriden and Hartford. But Mean Street plus Connecticut was just not a connection I could make. Plus, they were horrible.
My number 6 was a team from the early 90s that was really bad when you actually abbreviated their name, which happened quite a bit, like on the cards and such. But it's Men on a Mission, whereas it would be abbreviated MOM. This featured Mabel and Mo. Mabel would go on to have the bigger career. He would win King of the Ring. You guys might also remember him in his later gimmicks as Viscera and Big Daddy V. Yeah, Men on a Mission. They also had a guy named Oscar who was kind of their manager who would wrap them to the ring, but he kind of was often forgotten in that whole combo.
I can't imagine why.
Kidder, what do you got for number 6?
I would say number 6, I will go with the Miracle Violence connection with Terry Gordy and Steve Williams. Is it a miracle they're violent? Is it a miracle they've connected? Is the connection just violent? It's not striking me.
Okay.
It's non-violent.
No. We're at number 5. What do you got?
Number 5, Chronic. And not just because of the stupid spelling. It never made sense. Brian Clark, Brian Adams, yeah, I like to watch them work. But Chronic, what? Do you have chronic back pain? Okay, sure. So do all of them. Chronic cardiac issue? Well, get the hell out of the ring, go see a doc. Chronic what?
I like how so many of these were taking like very literally.
Hey, we take our trash talking very seriously. You should know this.
I do know. It's funny. Funny to me. My number 5 is maybe one of the newest ones so far that we've given on this list. My number 5 is Team Bad. This was one of the factions that they created when they brought up Sasha Banks and Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair. But this featured Sasha Banks, Tamina, and Naomi. And yeah, that was the best name they could come up with, was Team Bad. They were the heels faction that came up. We just literally called them Bad.
The Shining Stars. Primo and Epico. Of all of the things they could call them, the Shining Stars. In a repackage that did not last that long.
Yeah, I forgot about that one.
I wonder why.
I was going to say, mostly because I think they were a thing when I wasn't really watching.
And their whole thing was the Shining Star of the Caribbean. It was like their wrestling traveling agents or travel agents who sold timeshares to Puerto Rico, spelling the local flower. That makes them relevant.
Big D, you're number 4.
Number 4 is going to be Head Shrinkers. I don't get it. To my recollection, they were not overly large. If they were a little bit larger, like Men on a Mission, and the finishing move was the big splash onto your face, then I could see it. Just never got it with those two.
I believe the whole thing with that gimmick was more of like and people would probably view this as slightly on the racist side, but more of kind of like the witch doctor head shrinker, that you would find like on a small Polynesian island.
Okay.
That's because they were Polynesian, the guys on Head Shrinkers. So that would be why.
Okay. I guess back then I didn't draw that connection because I would have been too young to know any better. So, okay.
My number 4 was so bad that it like only lasted like 2 weeks, and then they changed this team's name. But these guys are still wrestling today, but it has to be the Viking Experience. These poor guys, they were the War Raiders. They came up to the main roster. Vince changed them to the Viking Experience. It got such a negative reaction that they were renamed within like 2 weeks to the Viking Raiders. It was sad. So Viking Experience, so bad that they changed the name.
So what you're saying is like the Minnesota Vikings, they choked so hard that never mind.
Ort's joke on this show, calm down. La Resistance would be one for me.
Any particular reason?
I don't know, it's French.
Hey.
That's new enough, and I think it was, if I remember it, which I don't really think I do, it was bad. So there's a one-off for you.
I like how Kidder, it just seems like so many of your picks are just like, yeah, that's stupid, and that's like all the reason you need. It's not.
Yeah, I don't need to rank them 1 through 10. They're all dumb, so they're all 1.
And for the record, that was my number 3. So go on, Howard.
Your number 3 was La Resistance.
I was going to be a pretentious a-hole and say La Résistance because I actually speak French, but then that would be pretentious of me. But then I just did it anyway. So continue.
Yeah. Okay. Well, my number 3 and the current tag team, actually more of a faction, but the Judgment Day. I mean, I like the guys who are on it, but the Judgment Day. The fact that it's not Judgment Day, it's just the Judgment Day.
Well, people would have gotten confused with the pay-per-view.
Truthfully, I think they used the name because they were going to lose the rights to the name, like the trademark to Judgment Day, because they haven't done anything with it for years. So it's like, well, how can we keep it? Well, let's put it on a tag team. Just wait. We're going to get, Capital Punishment. What are some of the other ones?
No Way Out.
All for All. We're going to see all of these come back so that they can trademark them. They're all going to be tag teams.
We're going to see Doug and Danny come back as the Great American Bashams. That'd be horrible.
I don't know. That might actually be good. Kidder, what's your number 3/number 1?
Maximum Male Models. It was terrible.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
It's not necessarily a bad name. It was just a whole bad concept and bad execution, and the name started it.
Hey, Big D, what do you got for number 2?
Spirit Squad, the name, everything about them. There's stupid little pom-poms. Kenny Dykstra, that tall doofus with the big nose. The only pass on that I'll give is Dolph Ziggler, because he actually made something of himself after he got out of that horror tag team stable.
Good choice. Good choice. My number 2, this could have been my number 1, but I did find one that was worse. So my number 2, again, a current tag team, Damage Control.
It's just because they don't spell out control.
It's that, and because what damage control actually means. It means like preventing things from getting worse. But they're a heel tag team. Doesn't work. Ugh.
Yeah, they're controlling how much damage they do as the heel. That could maybe work.
Yeah, but then it's not that. It is. I'm guessing that they drew a name out of a hat.
Yeah. In hindsight, my little exposition there it's too much mental gymnastics to make that conclusion. So yeah, it sucks. You're right.
Kidder, what's your number 2?
It's funny because the Spirit Squad was on the list for me too.
Freaking right, it was.
There it is. Spirit Squad on the list too. It's done. We're done with it.
I'm just gonna tell you guys right now. Spoiler: my number 1 is not the Spirit Squad. Big D, what was your number 1?
My number 1 was Crime Time, and I will absolutely clarify. I'm talking about just the name only, not the workers. Well, the name plus the gimmick. I thought it was racist as all hell, but JTG and Chad, they did very well with that gimmick. They did very well with what they were given. They were good in the ring, and I mean, I would, at this point, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Shad. This is kind of off topic a little bit, but Shad, I mean, doing the ultimate act of love and giving his life up so his son would live when they were in that crisis in the water, and Chad made sure his son would survive at the expense of his own life. So I could be remiss if I didn't throw that out there. But yeah, Crime Time, the name and the gimmick.
I believe it. I might be mistaken, but I thought I saw it on Facebook today that today would have been his birthday, so he would have been 42 today.
I mean, look,
I might have seen a post that was like a day or so ago, but I could have sworn I saw that.
what's today, January 13th?
It's the 13th.
Yep, January 13th, 1981.
Well, Kidder, since you didn't rank yours in any particular order, what's your number 1?
Whew. I there's so many, like Rybaxel. That's a big one for me. But does it make the list? I don't know. You mentioned the Brain Busters. What about Beer Money? Right, the Killer Bees, the Motor City Machine Guns. How do I choose just one out of the last 9?
I can recommend that you look at the list you have there and read the one that you haven't read yet. I mean, that's just a thought.
Legion of Doom. All right, there it is. No, League of Nations. I like the concept of getting together and then, trying to be the heel faction, but not really getting all the league together. Maybe you should have called them the Axis Powers. I don't know. Is that better? Did it make the list? Tell us in the comments.
And hey, go ahead and share your, worst tag team names. Guys, I have my number one, and I think it's probably the worst of any of the ones that we've talked about tonight. But back in the early 2000s on SmackDown for a couple of weeks, there was a tag team that was the Dicks.
I had forgotten about them. It's going to haunt my nightmares, you son of a bitch.
That was a tag team. They were a heel tag team. Their gimmick was that of kind of Chippendale dancers. They got away with calling them the Dicks because they came up with fake names, but it was like Dick something and Dick something. Like it was just like Dick Smith and Dick John, some random thing like that.
It's a lot of dicks right there.
You almost said Dick Johnson.
I realized it. This beer's affecting me.
His name's Richard. He goes by Dick.
Anyway,
John.
Yeah. The tag team never got any traction. Nobody really cared about them. And then both members of the tag team actually hated each other, got into an actual fist fight, which would lead to the breakup, and they would go back to one of them would go back to wrestling on OVW. It was a very failed one, but to me, that's the worst tag team name because you're not ever going to get that over. Ever. That was dead on arrival. Terrible tag team names. I'm surprised there was no cross. Well, no, wait, there was one crossover because you guys both said Spirit Squad.
I'm thirsty, Howard.
You say that, and I get a little worried, Kidder, because that means I got to finish this thing. All right. Hey, everybody, it's What's on Tap round 2. We're
Bam!
First so that Howard has time to chug.
Bam! Bam! Let's go. Buy us a beer, by the way. BeerBluesBS.com. Click Buy Us a Beer. And $1, $3, $12. Buy us 1 beer, 2 beers. What? 3 beers. What? A 12-pack. What? And help us out because you can support a thirsty podcast host by going to beerbluesbs.com. And for the low price of $1 a day, you too can sponsor a podcast host. That's also poor and trying to keep the show on the internet. beerbluesbs.com. Click Buy Us a Beer, please. Continuing the lemonade, I might as well stick with the Smirnoff. We'll go with this one. I may or may not have had this one on the show. Blue raspberry flavor. There it is. Another Smirnoff Ice blue raspberry lemonade in the can. And again, premium malt beverage, natural flavors, certified colors, 4.5% alcohol by volume, and it is a 12 fluid ounce can. Must be 21 to purchase. All that. Please recycle. RECYCLE, recycle, CONSERV, conserve, don't you POLLUTE, the rivers, streams, and something seas, or else you're going to get what you deserve. You remember that one, Big D? Is that ringing a bell?
No, I was going to follow that up with STFUMARK.
Glad that you got that out, considering you're probably at least a third through that Four Loko.
Let the record reflect that I watched Howard chug the last of his beverage. This is not empty, so yeah, Big D rules.
Guess that makes it my turn.
For me, just for clarification, since nobody got that trivia, that was from Rocco's Modern Life, the pollution song. Thank you, Nickelodeon, for teaching us how to spell recycle and conserve and pollute and how pollution is bad. So this can will go into the recycle.
Mark Kidder, Echo Warrior.
If we only get, 2 more people on this show, we can each have a ring of a different color and then suddenly combine to make an even worse podcast.
With your powers combined, I am Captain Podcast.
Oh, I was going for Captain Mediocrity, but yeah, sure.
I'm more of Captain Oblivious and totally missed that. But anyway, that's
I'm not a captain yet, so I can't tie that into some cheesy joke. I got a few months.
Hey, here's a fun development. So I'm sitting here waiting to introduce my my beer here, and I see what looks to be a bit of water on my my little mat that protects my table. Ran my fingers through it, like, oh, I better soak that up before it spreads or that. Guys, that wasn't water.
Was it blood?
It was glue. Oh no!
You got to say something. You got your hand up like you want to say something.
Say something so that your viewers can see it.
Yeah. So if you can see the old fingers there are there we go. I finally got it. Glued together. I now have glue all over my fingers.
I'm going to say it's a good thing you got a nurse in the house, so you might have to excuse yourself for a moment and go get a little medical attention.
I just need a little rubbing alcohol. But now my fingers are like coated in glue, so it's like doesn't ugh.
As long as that rubbing alcohol is not what is featured in What's on Tap Part 2.
You know what? It could be because this beer, it's it's from the Spetzel Brewery. That's right, the official beer of Farva, coming to us from Shiner, Texas,
and the most drinked beer on this show.
Yeah, it is a Shiner Trail Ale that I got here. Yeah. It's a trail mix inspired ale. The font on this is terrible to read. 6% alcohol by volume. Ale brewed with chocolate, nuts, dried fruit, and with natural flavors added.
Gross. That sounds worse than an IPA.
The life of a content creator. Oh man, that actually smells like trail mix. Usually you smell the beer and you get like maybe a whiff of one of the flavors out of it, but no, it smells like a can of liquid trail mix.
It smells like salty pretzels and peanuts.
Yeah, with chocolate and a little bit of like raisins or cranberries. Oh yeah.
Oh man.
I mean, that's what it smells like. Oh boy. That's what it tastes like too.
Oh man.
It actually tastes like trail mix.
Well, on the plus side,
that would be good, but at the same time, do you want to drink trail mix?
Not really. not really. I mean, I give them credit because, a lot of times when you get a beer that's supposed to be something, it's not quite, but yeah, this is it tastes like trail mix. It's impressive in that sense, but I don't know if I'm really going to enjoy it. I'm not a big chocolate fan and such. Huh.
Well, don't worry, because you won't suffer with the chocolatiness alone. Let the record show that my Four Loko is now empty. I nursed it extra long just to prove you two a-holes wrong. Alrighty. So this is from the Bemidji Brewing Company. Huh?
How are you proving us wrong?
Because you were swearing up and down that I was going to finish that Four Loko before Howard finishes little midget-sized can of beer.
No, the question was who would finish what first.
Oh, and I finished mine last, so I win.
No, Howard wins. You don't understand, man. I have a reputation of the slowest drinker on this show.
Fair enough. Happy to help.
The fact that I beat somebody is like, woo, mark the calendar.
Friday the 13th. There we go.
Also thinking it's a win because you are 1, upright, 2, not stumbling, 3, haven't passed out, 4, the ambulance hasn't showed up yet.
Are you talking to me or Howard?
Yeah, both of you. Sure.
Kidder, you forgot 5. He also hasn't glued his fingers together, so
You do have that on me.
I do have the
personal problem.
I have on a couple of occasions lost my glasses while I've been wearing them. Spent a half hour wandering around the house trying to figure out what the frick they are, but I have not glued my fingers together.
Yeah, that's a common occurrence for me.
All righty, let's see here.
House.
Well, let me join you gentlemen on the part 2. This is from the Bemidji Brewing Company. This is I'm assuming that Nice Catch is part of the name. It's backwards on my screen, and hopefully it's not on yours, but Nice Catch Stout has dark chocolate. It says dark chocolate roast. That could mean any number of things. Let's see if there's any. I don't think there's any sort of narrative on there. Brewed and canned by Bemidji Brewing in Bemidji, Minnesota. 6.2% alcohol by volume. Know your limit. Enjoy responsibly. Limit includes 4 Loco, 12 fluid ounces. Let's see. I don't know if I'm smelling chocolate. Maybe a little bit. There's really deep, kind of a muted chocolate smell. Let's see about taste. I'm just barely tasting the chocolate. Oh no, never mind. The chocolate's on the aftertaste. I mean, it tastes like a little bit. It tastes like Guinness, a little bit thinner than the chocolate. The dark chocolate hits on the aftertaste. If it were slightly colder than it is right now, I'd probably give it a good 4 room-ish temp, because I'm an idiot who doesn't have a refrigerator right here. Room temp, I'll give it a 3.5 still.
Hey, Kidder.
Yep.
Do you want to feel better about your life?
I'm sure.
It's kind of gonna be hard to see, but might be time for me to stop. For the audio listeners, I now have a finger glued to the palm of my hand. I really shouldn't assemble models and drink. I'm learning tonight.
I was going to say, are you sure you accurately read off the percent alcohol volume or by volume?
Yes, I have.
Because that first one strikes me as having perhaps double than what you read off.
Oh, that one's gonna hurt. It's not a good night for Howard's fingers. Kidder, I was only gonna make us do one list of things, but Big D had to copy my idea, and he wanted to talk about the worst wrestling finishers, either the name or the actual move. So
Got it.
And I think we were only doing the top 5 because 2 top 10 lists in one show, where it's a little
much.
Big D, you want to kick this one off?
Sure, I'll go with number 5. The People's Elbow, simply because the Rock and his character, it's a good mix for that. But at the end of the day, it is an elbow drop. The most basic milquetoast freaking finisher you could possibly have. Now, if he did the theatrics and then did the bounce off the rope and then somehow jumped up onto the top rope and then dove off, then we got something to talk about. But it is an elbow, despite the fact that it is the most powerful finishing the move in how many wrestling games? It's an elbow. Come on.
Big D's going to get some heat for that one. So.
Just bring it.
My number 5, we might as well just go in the same order we did with the last one. My number 5 is the Master Lock. Why? Because if you really want to get out of it, you just back kick the guy right in the balls or step on his toe. But the fact that we had it, and I think part of it is because they used to do those stupid contests where it's like somebody would come out of the ring and you'd put him in the Master Lock, and could you escape? Like, nobody could escape the Master Lock. It's like, just step on the guy's foot.
I didn't Cena break it because he buried everyone, and I mean everyone in that particular time frame.
Big D, the whole gimmick with that was so boring, I don't even remember because I didn't care.
Touche, good sir.
Kidder, what do you got?
The ultimate splash.
Agreed.
I've come to learn that when it comes to like top 10 lists with Kidder here, it's apparently he just speaks with such authority that he just has to just, here it is. No explanation. Don't have to justify why I think this. I've said it. It is so.
It is so, Howard Boots. Engage.
All right, Big D, what do you got for number 4?
Number 4, I'm going to go with the Angle Slam, alternatively known as the Olympic Slam. At the end of the day, it looks like a modified fireman's carry, which is not that impactful.
My number 4, and I couldn't remember the exact name of it, but you guys will know exactly what it is. But it's it's Big Show's punch. What was it? Like weapon of mass destruction?
Power of the punch. Wait, no. That was Regal. That was Regal with the brass knucks.
Snucks.
It was the
I can't think of the name.
WMD.
Yeah, it was. It was the WMD, the weapon of mass destruction. My reason for it is simple. Because he punches people throughout the match. Why all of a sudden is this one punch? You know, why is that the knockout all of a sudden?
Because he fought Floyd Mayweather, Lewis, whatever. That guy.
Floyd Money Mayweather.
Yeah, I don't care.
Only like the greatest boxer in current history.
Is he though?
He's undefeated.
For some people in wrestling.
Anyway, what's your number 4, Kidder?
I had number 4 here, but because you said the WMD, I will go with my number 3 as a non-spoiler here with the Superman punch. Basically the same thing.
Big D, what's your number 3?
The Attitude Adjustment, formerly known as the FU, for a similar reason as a number 4. It is a friggin' fireman's carry with a little bit more of a boop.
How could you even see that, Big D?
Lame. See what?
You know what's really lame, though, Big D? When your number 3 gets spoiled by somebody who decides to move it up, because we could have then had the same number 3. My number 3 is Roman Reigns' Superman punch.
Well, there we go.
You could have had the same as me, Kidder. We both could have been like, look, they're on the same level. But, you just had to move yours up.
Or you had to take something of basically the same proportions.
Yeah.
Put them 2 in a row.
Yeah.
I, on the other hand, went with the bear hug.
I'm not going to lie, Kidder. If we had done like a 10, I would have had to like sleeper hold on here for that kind of same reason. It's kind of just a boring finisher.
So between my number 1 and number 2, I'm here. Well played. They're pretty much tied. So I'll just read them in the order I got. So the front Russian leg sweep. You got a match with, power bombs and suplexes and superplexes and going through tables and kicking out of everything, and a front Russian leg sweep ends it.
Who beat whom with that?
That's what I want to know.
Jeff, I don't know if he still uses it as a finisher, but Jeff Jarrett used that for the longest time. And I think Miz used it for a little while too. I think. Don't quote me on that, even though I just quoted myself.
His skull crushing finale?
Yes, the skull crushing finale. Thank you.
So he still uses that. I guess it is more of a Russian leg sweep.
Yeah, and Jeff Jarrett uses the, what do you call it? The stroke. I hated the move is fine. I hate it as a finisher.
My number 2, and this will probably be the one that gets me heat. The Hogan leg drop.
Whoa! Okay.
For a lot of the same reasons that Big D gave with the people's elbow, it's just a leg drop.
And it has the added issue of, I think Hogan said it caused his spine to compress over the years of doing it. So there's that too.
That would be mine. I never was kind of impressed with that, especially the whole build up to it with the hulking up and then the big boot. And I just was never a fan of that.
Where every match against Hulk Hogan was a buried alive match because he buried you.
Kidder, what's your number 2?
The camel clutch or the Stein recliner, depending on what area you want to watch.
I would tend to disagree with that, honestly, just because I've had lower back issues, and Your lower back gets wrenched out of joint. It sucks.
Well, that's what you get for having issues.
I know.
What's your number one?
The Overdrive. It's a crappy name. It's a crappy move. It's awkward. It hurts the person giving it more than the person receiving it. And the person receiving it might break their neck. And it's dumb. And I can't emphasize this enough. It's dumb. Looks like crap.
I'm trying to even remember what the Overdrive is.
It's crap. It's so crap. Your brain dumped it. It's not allowing you to remember it.
Okay, but I want to remember it. I'm trying to even remember who did it.
It was that stupid thing where imagine the setup to a famouser, but the I think Orton did it for a while, Orlando Jordan did it for a while, but he's holding the near side arm of the opponent, and then it amounts to the opponent's motion amounts to a swinging net breaker, while the arm is flipped over and the leg awkwardly lands under the neck. It's trash. It's so crappy I can't even describe it.
He's getting fired up about this, Kidder.
It's just the Four Loco. It's starting to run through his veins. He's going to end up running wild pretty quick.
I will stay fully clothed. I promise you that.
I wonder if he's still a real American, or if he fights for what's right for every man.
I don't know. I do speak French. I could pretend to be not American.
Mr. America. Whatever the hell that gimmick was. You remember that?
Oh, Hulk Hogan with the stupid mask on with the star.
Who is he?
Yeah, that was
Really? This is hilarious. Thank you, Michael Cole.
That was dumb.
Continue,
The gimmick,
Howard.
that is.
Yeah. Unless you keep your mouth shut. Continue.
No. I was just enjoying the banter and trying to figure out where this piece goes.
I'm trying to figure out
to the table.
I'm trying to figure out which digit you're going to glue to another digit next.
That's that's a good question with how my night's going. My number one might be a little controversial. Might get a little people fired up, get a little people upset. My number one, the Stunner.
You listen here, you piece of trash. Don't make me come on over there because I'm going to whip your candy ass up and down that little sumbitch cul-de-sac. I'm going to show the snow exactly what's up. You sumbitch, pile of nuts, gonna get what's coming to you. Howard Blues, Howard the Ref, pile of monkey nuts, gonna get is whooping.
I actually just wanted to get Kidder to care. Actually, my number one is the choke slam. I never thought that the choke slam was actually all that great of a finisher. Too many people do it, and then too many people kick out of it.
You just made Kidder party foul.
But
wanted the reaction, and I got it. Kidder, you didn't disappoint.
Well played, you magnificent bastard.
I mean, there is something for cueing or triggering. I don't know. Comedic timing.
What's your number one, Kidder?
Well, you're gonna love it. The arm bar. No.
I will partially disagree because it felt like for a long time, and maybe I'm just recalling the video games of
yesterday,
way back when, but it felt like the armbar was used a lot, and then it wasn't for a long time, and then Alberto Del Rio brought it back and actually made it legitimate again, because that can legitimately break an elbow.
Well, you see, I would agree with that part of maybe a Ronda Rousey or Shayna Baszler or Brock Lesnar, like the Kimura clutch. Absolutely, he's going to snap your elbow in half. But the armbar, ow, I got to tap out because that's what the story tells me to do.
It's one of those things. I kind of agree with you, Kidder, and yet I kind of disagree. And it's just because like mixed martial arts has made something out of the like armbar. You watch enough of that, and it's it's a legitimate enough move. But the way that it's been used in like professional wrestling, I can kind of see it. So like an actual armbar, yes, good move. How it's been used, yeah. Well, there you go, folks. 2 top 10s. Well, a top 10 and a top 5. Everything
Numbers
you ever
are
wanted.
hard.
Listen, I'm just struggling to not glue myself to another model. So, but hey, if you thought we were done with all this wrestling talk, nope. Because where I maybe started with the top 10, Big D brought in the top 5. Kidder brought his own shenanigans.
Oh,
He wanted to do some wrestling entrance music trivia.
So before we get into this, because this is going to take long enough, I need
Asshole.
another drink, and I'm thirsty. So reach in here and grab a third lemonade, all partially because I need to drink these and get them out of here. So this is by the company Crook and Marker, an organic super grain alcohol classic lemonade. There you go. A look at the can. It is 5% alcohol by volume. So we're upping it by 0.5 percentage point here. 0 sugar, infinite flavor. Straight to the moon. It's USDA certified organic. However, only 11.5 fluid ounces in this can. 100 calories, 1 gram of carbs, no sugar. It's vegan, it's non-GMO, and it's gluten-free. In fact, I don't know what's actually in here because it says that there's nothing in it.
Getting hammered responsibly?
0 sugar, 0 artificial flavors and sweeteners, 0 artificial preservatives, 0 added sulfates, 0 carbonation. Sweet, blah, blah, blah. It's flavored beer. Great. Less than 1% of organic lemon juice concentrate. Okay, well, let's try this out and see what's actually in this thing. Well, there's enough carbonation to give it a little squirt on the top of the can there. This smells horrible, just for the record. In fact, it somewhat smells like that Four Loko. Ugh. I mean, it does not smell or taste like regular lemonade. So, with 1 sip, that's a 1. I'll suffer through that. Okay, so I wanted to bring this to the table because I happen to remember about an hour before we started that we had so much fun doing the audio samples of music and figuring that out that, damn it, we need to do it for wrestling. So I provided a nice link in the Google Drive. There are 26... He's taking his headphones off. Don't glue your hands to your damn headphones.
I was trying to quietly escape.
Nope. Nope. Now, here's the thing. It spans wrestling. They're not necessarily obscure, and I don't give you just 1 second of the music to listen to. So, here's how this game goes. We're going to go 1 through 26. I'll give you the short period of time to pull up the appropriate track that's in that drive, and only that appropriate track. And damn it, if you're cheating, you're going to get 30 lashes from a wet broomstick. All right.
You try to give me... Never mind. I was about to cause Future Howard to bleep some text. I can't do that to him. Not yet.
This is going to get interesting. Yeah. Okay. You guys ready? Do you have the link up there? I see he's copying it now. Very good.
Yeah.
All right. So which one of these are we listening to?
01. They should all be in order.
Yep.
1 through 26.
We're doing all 26 of these?
They're not that long. And if you have problems identifying them, then you're not a true wrestling fan.
You want to know the last time I watched wrestling, like, habitually? I was a civilian. It was a long-ass time ago.
Okay. Well, let's start out with number 1. So we started with Big D in the previous one, so let's continue the round table. Big D, your guess.
That is... I was about to ask a silly question. We're talking about who this music that is. That is Edge.
There you go. Okay. Howard Blues?
Yeah, it's Edge.
That is correct. So 1 for 1. There we go. The music from Edge entitled Metalingus by the band Alter Bridge. Miles Kennedy lead vocals. Very good song. Number 2.
I already listened. It's Trips.
Yep, it's Triple H.
All right. It is Triple H's music, The Game, by Lemmy and Motorhead. There you
Rest
go.
in peace.
All right, number 3.
I have no idea. It's too modern for me.
I'm debating whether I think it's Sheamus or it's The Bar. I think it's Sheamus.
Good guess. Unfortunately, that is Jack Swagger.
Oh,
He
yeah.
was a real American. The song called Patriot by Jim Johnston. All right, number 4.
So, for the record, I listened to number 4 while Howard was listening to number 3, and I don't have a bleeping idea what it is.
Bray Wyatt.
That is correct. Bray Wyatt, or I would also accept the Wyatt family. Song Live in Fear, originally by Mark Crozier. Number 5.
I don't know.
Oh,
Howard knows it too.
I know it, but I can't think of who it is.
Kind of unfair to Big D, but he may have heard the story. At a WWE live event at the Bismarck Event Center, this wrestler jumped over 4 rows of chairs to yell at me during the event.
It's Stardust.
There it is.
It's Cody?
Yep.
What the hell did you do to piss off Cody?
It was pretty good. I was yelling something. I mean, this is, I don't know, 8 years ago, so whatever.
Oh.
But clearly, because the Stardust character has been dead for years at this point. But
And rightly so.
Yep.
Offline, you're going to have to give me that detail.
So the Stardust theme song called Written in the Stars by Jim Johnston. Sorry. All right, number 6.
I don't know.
Howard's got the wheels turning.
I don't have a guess for that one.
I want to say Becky Lynch for no other reason than it just pops in my head, even though I know it's absolutely wrong.
Well, you are on a closer track than Howard because you said a woman wrestler, and it is a woman wrestler. That's not Becky Lynch. That is Paige's WWE music.
Okay.
And the song Stars in the Night by CFO. All right. Number 7.
I don't friggin' know. That is going to be a running theme for the remaining 18 of these.
Don't know that.
It's a running theme, not an absolute theme.
I don't know, but I'm just going to guess Kurt Angle.
No. Older than that. That is Jake Roberts' theme called Snake Bit by Jim Johnston, going back quite a while. All right. Number 8.
One hitter, quitter, quitter. Step up. One hitter, quitter, quitter. Step up. One hitter, quitter, quitter. Step up.
MVP.
It's a good guess, but no.
Mark Henry?
Yep. The salmon suit wearing son of a bitch himself, Mark Henry. That is Somebody Gonna Get It by 3-6 Mafia. All right, on to number 9.
Taker. Graveyard
Yep.
Symphony.
Yep. It's Taker.
That is The Undertaker. The theme song officially Rest in Peace by Jim Johnston himself. That also is The Undertaker's 31st theme song, to be specific.
Let the record show that clip was one note with a little bit of a change in the underlying riffs. So that was just mean, man.
I mean, both of you got it, so
Shut up.
shove it. All
I will
right, here
poop
we
in your
go.
shoes.
10. Number 10.
I know who it is. So
Oh, hang on. I almost jumped the gun. That is either Natalia or Bret Hart's current abomination of music that they updated for him. But since you're going to need something concrete, I'm going to go with Natalia.
Howard.
I was going to go with Bret Hart.
Howard is the victor on that point. It is Bret Hart, the Return the Hitman by Jim Johnston. All right, number 11.
Kofi.
Yep, that's Kofi.
Copycat.
Coffee Kingston. The song SOS by Jim Johnston. Man. Rude boy, man. Too bad Rude boy Kyle's not on here because he could give us a little boom, boom, boom himself. All right, number 12. See, we're
I got it.
almost halfway through.
Always gets his. Always gets his. Always gets his.
$1 Million Man.
Mm-hmm. Old
Who is-
Teddy. Ted
who is-
DiBiase.
That's right. That's Ted DiBiase right there.
Senior.
All right. The $1 Million Man theme by Jimmy Hart and J.J. Maguire. Yes, Jimmy Hart credited on that song. I know. That's what I said. All right. Number 13.
Are you kidding me? It's the milk guzzler himself.
Yeah, it's Angle.
There you go. The Olympic gold medalist, the three eyes himself. Yes, Kurt Angle. The song is called Metal by Jim Johnston.
For the record.
What?
Oh, I was going to say, for the record, his interplay with Austin during that whole Abomination Alliance story arc, that was just pure gold.
The invasion.
Yeah. Him
Jim got caught in, I don't care. Jim got caught in, I don't care.
I've got an Olympic gold.
Jim got caught. We're on number 14.
Numéro 14. That's right, I said it.
Feel the heat, yeah. Say hello. Yo, feel the heat, yeah. Say hello. Yo, feel the heat, yeah. Say hello. Yo.
That's Eddie in one of his heel themes.
Yep, Latino Heat.
Eddie Guerrero, may he rest in peace. Lie, Cheat, and Steal, the official name of that track by Jim Johnston. You can tell where I'm going with all these themes because Jim Johnston was the man. Okay, number 15, 1-5. Here we go.
Jim Johnston is to WWE what Jerry Goldsmith is to Star Trek. I'm just saying.
Yep, it's true.
And the corner. That is obnoxious as all hell. So it must be The Miz.
Nope.
I should know it, and I'm going to be like, when Kidder tells me. But just to guess something, Evan Bourne.
Good guess. It is Wade Barrett.
Yep, there it is.
No wonder I don't care.
Specifically when it was part of the Axis of Allies. Yeah, I know. It wasn't the League of Nations. Specifically, that song called Rebel Son. It was by CFO, $, and Jim Johnston. CFO, by the way, is that artist comes in is really who worked with Jim Johnston, transitioned into that period, and then has since left WWE. Okay. Number 16. I'd also love to mention that as we're playing this game, you hear the songs. Share your guesses in the comments right below this video.
I don't have a freaking clue who that is.
This one's probably one of the more difficult ones. As a hint, a hint, this wrestler, he was mentioned earlier in the worst tag, so that should narrow it down from about 12,000 to 50.
Well, it's not on my list, that's for sure.
I know this one. I just don't have a time remembering who it is. Especially with that little bit that's right at the end. I'm just going to take a guess. Viscera. Why not? That's not right.
No. Big D.
I'm just going to guess Kane because it's absolutely not.
No. That is Curtis Axel.
Yeah, I don't know who that is. So
that's Mr. Perfect's son.
Okay. I can put the face to the name. Yeah.
That song also called Reborn by CFO, Dollar Sign, and Jim Johnston. On to number 17.
That strikes me as a lady wrestler's theme, but I can't think of who. The Bellas?
Good guess. No, because theirs is you can look, but you can't touch.
That's right. I actually did know that one.
Big D, I will give you a second guess here after Howard thinks.
AJ Lee.
Okay, I won't give you another hint.
I was going to say AJ Lee.
There it is. So my hint that I would have given is that I witnessed this wrestler lose the Divas title to Paige at the Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania 30.
Yeah, because I'm going to know that.
In New Orleans. I was there, so you should know.
He talks about that so damn much. I mean, that's not even a hint. That's just telling the answer.
Here you go. Yeah, AJ Lee. All right, number 18.
Oh, old school. I know just who it is. Howard, you let me know when you're ready.
Go ahead and guess.
So it is a pair because two people used that particular music. It was the Sultan and Tiger Ali Singh.
I would not have known that. So
that on my list that is incorrect.
Mm-hmm.
That is the Iron Sheik.
Wow, even older school than old school.
That song called Desert Threat, also by Jim Johnston. That's how long he worked with the company.
Hey,
That's the Iron Sheik.
I get partial credit because I was right. I just wasn't what you were thinking.
Howard the ref, what do you say?
Sorry, I started listening to the next one. I would give it to him. I mean,
okay.
if it was used by somebody else, I mean, it's kind of, there are themes that get used by multiple people. Kind of like
the Patriot.
Somebody Call Your Mama was used by not just
the Funkasaurus. And
not just him. The Cat also used that music back when he wrestled for the WWE. So it's been around.
Okay.
He said the cat, not the zombie from the Thriller music video.
That's what the Funkasaurus did when he came out.
Okay. Fair enough.
They had the whole because he had like a tail and a hat, and it was something else. Met him at WrestleMania 30 as well. Nice. Number 19.
19.
Bros wanna act hard, you need to take it easy. Bros wanna act hard, you need to take it easy. Bros wanna act hard, you need to take it easy.
Wow, that is an obnoxious New York accent.
I think that's Enzo and Cass.
I don't freaking know.
Howard is correct. That is Enzo Amore's song SAWFT is a Sin by CFO $ featuring Enzo Amore. You know, if Big D had a dime for every time he's heard that song, he'd have 0 dimes.
You're not wrong.
Number 20.
I'm going to let Big D get the first guess because I know who it is.
No.
Does he get a minus point now for dropping that?
I've upgraded to the Effenheimer.
I'll give you this, Big D, as a hint. I don't know what Kidder has. But this particular wrestler was already on this list, but in a different gimmick.
I don't remember who we've set up to this point.
The Four Locos wiped his memory. He can't go that far.
Like I said, the last time I habitually watched any wrestling, I was a civilian. Guess what? I haven't been in almost 14 years, so that should give you some idea.
Yeah, it's Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare.
That's right. That's my son. That's my son, Cody. He's Cody Rhodes, and he's going to come on down to the ring at some point here. And the song is actually by the band Down Straight, called Kingdom.
Nice.
The name of the original song, Kingdom. Very good track. All right. 21. Also another good track. I enjoyed
Vehicle
listening to this song.
Talking about splitting the head open. Dang.
I don't know this one. I can't even
I
say
have
that
no
I've ever
idea.
heard this.
Howard Blues, you have and you do. And you're going to glue your head to your hand once you hear who it actually is.
I'm waiting.
Oh, all right. That is Darby Allin's theme music from AEW. The song is called I Fell by Wicca Phase Springs Eternal.
Hate to tell you, I've never seen Darby Allin's entrance. So, no, I haven't heard it.
You lying son of a bitch. Okay. Let's just move along to 22. And this one you might not know who, but if you know the song or the band, we could credit that, I suppose.
So it reminds me of Sables, although I know it's absolutely not Sables. And that's all you're getting out of me on that one. Shut up! Say something to take the camera thing off me.
I should know this one.
Do you know the wrestler, the band, or the song title?
No, and no.
That would be Orange Cassidy and his updated music, the song Jane by Jefferson Starship.
Starship?
Yep.
They're still alive?
I mean, it's an old song, but yeah. Sure. Howard, you had thoughts on that.
I should have known that one.
Oh, all right.
Like, as soon as you say it, it's like, oh yeah, that's.
Damn it! All right.
That was much more of like, oh, I'm gonna kick myself over it than your Darby Allin one earlier.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that you didn't glue your hand to your forehead. So let's move along to 23.
Also strikes me as a ladies' theme song, but I can't think of who.
Incorrect. It is a male or dudes, if you would like to guess again.
The Ding Dongs?
I mean, I'm sure some people have called them that, but Howard?
I got nothing on this one.
FTR.
Yeah.
Okay.
That so the song is actually titled Dark Side of TR by AEW Music. That is FTR, formerly known as The Revival in WWE.
Again,
really-
can't say
really
that I've
good
ever.
save team.
I was gonna say I can't say that I've seen their entrance since they've gone over to AEW. So I don't get to watch AEW, Kidder. I don't get to hear themes.
Well, the next one's coming up in March, so put it on your calendar.
Hey, Kidder, you want some bad news?
No, it should have been. I've got some bad news.
No, that would be copyright infringement. So hey, do you want some bad news?
No,
Okay.
probably because I'm out again.
Was
All
on
right.
that part for?
Oh well, since you asked.
Oh, right.
We have the Simply Spiked Strawberry Lemonade. Here it is. There's a good look at it. If you're watching the video version on YouTube, you can subscribe for free. Smash that sub button. Click the thumbs up, please. It's a strawberry lemonade, natural flavors, 5% alcohol by volume. It does contain alcohol. It's 12 fluid ounces by the Simply Juice Company. Spiked. Here it is, 170 calories. It has aluminum, the aluminium from the Ball Corporation, a proud sponsor of your Colorado Avalanche. Big thanks to them for sponsoring it. It is a metal can. You can recycle it, gluten-free. Please drink responsibly. I'm sure you can't drink or shouldn't drink 4 of these in a sitting. But there's real fruit juice in this one, so we'll just say that I'm getting my vitamin C.
Before you crack that open,
I already did.
frick. I was going to say, I'm going to have to cut you off because you were talking about subscribing for Fleece onto the YouTubes.
I did say the fleets, and then I said free. So it's
I don't care. This means nothing.
free fleeting. You got to fleet over to click the sub for free. Fleet over there fast in a fleeting moment. Make it happen. Now shut the hell up and listen to 24.
Okay. Sounds like some bullshit my high school would have played. What did you do, Howard?
Why is your orc naked and why is he sticking off of your finger?
Well, technically it's a Yeti, not an orc.
Of course it's a Yeti.
Of course. Well, because clearly I have glued my finger to it.
I remember my first time using glue.
Truthfully, I put too much in the hole for the connector for the
Wait a
head, and
minute.
so it spilled out the
Wait. Wait. That probably goes with Big D's first time too.
Okay. Let's see. Who is this again?
I will shit in your shoes.
You already used that insult, Big D.
I don't care. I do what I want.
-1 point for reuse of garbage. Oh wait, we recycle on this show. You get
I'm recycling
+1.
my shit.
You get +1.
I'm going to guess the Acclaimed.
Good guess, but incorrect.
I'm going to guess the Acclaim too because I don't freaking know.
Okay, you're still wrong. Good job. Their theme song has their name in it, and
I
everybody.
don't watch AEW. I have no idea.
Yeah, but everybody loves the Acclaim. So this one, no, you got to do this because see, it's the A, and then you scissor me, daddy. Okay. So this is actually the absolute Ricky Stocks. Love the vibe with the song because it's got a vibe. Time for 25. You were almost all the way through. Oh, I should mention that the song's called It's Live, and it's by AEW Music. Here's 25.
CM Punk.
Let's go with Moxley.
Should have went with CM Punk. Yeah, that's his ECW theme. This Fire Burns by Killswitch Engage.
It's the one with the cool guitar riff. Didn't Orton use that like one time?
Not that I remember, but I wouldn't say that it didn't happen.
It might have. Worth researching.
Kill switch, engage. All right. The final one, number 26.
You know, get if the guitar player was stop.
Why do you think I chose this part of the song? Howard's jamming too. This is a good jam session.
This is one of those that I'm not going to get, but I'm going to kick myself the minute you tell me what it is. It's very familiar. I can't place it.
I'm going to guess Corbin.
Big D, you got an official guess?
No. So I'll just say Finlay because I know it's absolutely wrong.
Both of you are going to kick yourselves because that is Cult of Personality by Living Color, which is CM Punk's theme song. Oh, it's fair.
No, very
I wouldn't have known that one.
I had two Cody Rhodes too.
I think I might have gotten the other CM Punk one, not the Kill Switch, but I feel like there was another one, and that doesn't strike me as the one I'm thinking of. So
that's just later in the song, which you never actually hear in the wrestling world, but you hear on the radio because that's the guitar solo for the actual song. So still the exact same song, just not the look in my eyes, what do you see?
Fair enough.
Good job, gents. I wasn't actually keeping track of who got it right or wrong, so thanks, future Howard. And there you go. I pasted the entire list into the bottom, so then there's a little bit of something there.
Like I could give you some controversy, though. Do you want some controversy?
Well, we might as well do something that's of interest because, I mean, why not?
Because everybody's already tuned out with all the wrestling stuff.
Well, if this were Lane and he already looked through the show notes, he wouldn't make it to this far where we've mentioned him for a second time in this episode. But yeah, he's tuned out or just hasn't watched. I don't even know if he's still watching, now that he's in the big time, in the big metro.
Yeah. Yeah, now that he's in Big D's old stomping grounds.
Big D's like, which one?
I've lived in 4 countries in 10 years. It's actually a legitimate question that I have. Like, where?
He's in the old Twin Cities, Big D.
Oh, yeah, that place that I live very close to, but don't actually go to very often.
Yes. Oh, you mean Bismarck? No, he left Bismarck.
Well, I can't even say that I go to Bismarck not often because I haven't.
Don't. Not like you have 2 reasons to come down here.
And at least one of those reasons would actually be nice to you.
Yeah, hi.
Am I sensing some bitterness?
Towards who?
Yes.
Huh?
Well, this lemonade is a little bitter.
Hey, if I'm out of here in 7 months, then potentially, yeah, I got to figure something out. Me and Mrs. D and Little D to pack up the dogs and go spend a weekend down to the biz.
I mean, we're pretty much here 7 days a week, so you kind of got an open window.
Yeah, but I can't disappear that easily from where I work. Actually, maybe I can. I'm just overthinking it. More to follow. The burdens of command.
Just drop one of those like smoke bombs, and then you'll be back when you're back. I mean, it's like you never left.
Anyways, how about some controversy?
Controversy!
Oh, more of it. Right.
Well, I mean, that's what I talk about on this show. Oh, this one's a pretty big one. This one is actually pretty huge.
If it's really huge, it can only be about one thing. Dungeons and Dragons. How does it do that?
Yeah. So Dungeons and Dragons has really gone through a whole renaissance since the release. Look, hey guys, I'll even have props of 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons. Really got big, especially thanks to live plays of it, such as Critical Role it really took off. But part of it why is with 5th edition, WotC brought back the OGL, the Open Gaming License, and it basically allows you, if you sign up, there's a few guidelines, but anybody can go use the basic D&D rules to create their own supplements. So you have companies like Privateer Press taking their own IP, in this case War Machine and Hordes, and turning it into a 5e supplement, basically, so that you could play in their world. And this is basically create a huge market. You have a lot of independent game designers creating some really awesome content. Well, recently it was leaked that WotC was looking to change the OGL, the Open Gaming License. And in their change, but before they actually could put this thing out truly to the ether, once it got leaked out, people have been kind of losing it over it, because partially what this new updated, they're calling it 1.1 gaming license does, is it requires such things of WotC getting 20% of all your profits, including your Kickstarters, for your content that you are making. They have the right to take and use any of the material you produce. So basically, if you sign this agreement, WotC can then take your stuff, and basically it becomes theirs. And with this, it puts a lot of danger on these smaller developers, because there are people who their whole side hustle now is developing content for D&D and putting it online and selling it. They're going to lose that income stream, and they're going to, it's going to be hard for them to feed their families. If you are a larger company like Privateer Press and you're putting your IP into it, now that would mean that WotC could technically have the rights to your content, your IP, because of how this Open Gaming License works. So needless to say, this has created a huge firestorm of backlash. If people want more details on this, just go on to YouTube and do a Google search, and you can find all sorts of people breaking this down in far greater detail. D&D has a subscription service for some of this content. It's called D&D Beyond. People have been dropping out of that incredibly. Like, the numbers have gone way down of subscribers. And so Wizards of the Coast tried to rectify this in a document that got leaked it was either yesterday or today. It got leaked. They were going to respond to all of this with a FAQ, frequently asked questions document. And there's been some people who are lawyers who've already gone through this, and there's a lot of lies even within the FAQ, such as, well, we'll never take your stuff. Well, without asking permission. Well, the problem is, if you sign the contract that has this clause that says that they have access to your stuff, guess what? You signed the contract. You've given permission. So even though they're not taking your stuff, they really are. They have that ability. There's some other ones. Again, you can find other breakdowns, but this might be the thing that really damages D&D. And there are a couple of companies already who make some of this other independent content that are gearing up and planning to sue WotC over this. So if they don't drop this, we could actually see Wizards of the Coast getting sued for damages. So that's the big controversy. My YouTube feed is like filled with videos talking about it. Everybody's talking about it because, and Kidder, I'll even tie this in. I'll make it interesting for you, even though I know you don't tend to play a lot of role-playing video games.
Nope.
But there are a lot of role-playing video games that actually take and use, thanks to the Open Gaming License, mechanics and such from D&D. Things like Knights of the Old Republic back in the day used kind of D&D rules. Neverwinter Nights is another example. So, and there are more modern ones too. Hey, Kidder, I know you played this one. World of Warcraft. could technically be affected by this.
I mean, I had played it.
We know you still play. As soon as this show's over, you go, you sign in, run around the Barrens.
I can't afford that. I'm sure it's over $15 a month now. I can't afford that. That was years ago. We're talking 18 years ago. I played that.
I just felt like giving you grief. But just as an example,
My World of Warcraft time can now buy tobacco products since I last played.
But anyway, that's the big news, and it can have that effect on, even video games might be affected by this. So it's a huge deal. I saw one video before I came down for the show that had said that WotC had already now just decided not to do the upgrade to the gaming license, but we'll see. Just because I see one video doesn't mean I believe it. People are upset when you start messing with their Dungeons and Dragons.
I mean, you had something about, podcasts, but the only podcast to listen to is this one or watch. Please and thanks. Subscribe, smash that sub button.
I mean, I did start a new podcast that I'm listening to, Kidder. That's not ours.
You started to listen to a new podcast.
Yeah. It's called Intentionally Blank. And it's by
the content in this show.
Yeah. It is by two professional authors, Brandon Sanderson and Dan Wells. And the premise of it is great. Brandon is a big enough author that he does a lot of autographs, and so he has to sign a lot of stuff. And so really the reason they started this podcast is because as he was sitting there signing stuff, his buddy Dan would sit there and talk with him, and they decided, well, let's record this. So it's these two guys talking a lot about pop culture and the things they're watching and some of that. And I mean, it's kind of like this show, except no drinking and far less swearing. But very interesting. I'm most of the way through the first episode, and it's really good. It's really solid. They talk a lot about the Schneider cut of Justice League. They kind of talk about some of their work and what it means to edit your work, and should you go back and edit your work. It's interesting. They also spend a lot of time trying to figure out a name for their podcast during that one. Otherwise, that's about it. That's all I'm listening to. I did get a new CD for Christmas, Kidder, and I will try to give it a listen so that maybe next week I can do a review.
Okay.
There's a tease for next week.
Really, you're teasing the fact that even though the myth that we don't know what we're doing more than 5 minutes before the show, we actually do.
Well, sometimes, possibly, maybe, not always.
Is that kind of like the belief that the speed limit's wide open on the Autobahn?
Yeah, speed limits on the Autobahn, huh? Yeah. It is an urban legend, actually, there, Kidder, that there are no speed limits on the Autobahn.
Oh, if you're going way too fast in my Porsche.
Actually, and I can't imagine why we're bringing this up now. So there are, in European countries, as you cross the borders, because generally they're open borders, there's a sign that will tell you crosses language barrier, what the speed limits are generally. And there's a sign that tells you when to go back to that speed limit that you see. You'll see, and this is for future Howard. This is why I posted the picture in there in the run sheet. The example that is pasted in there is from Germany specifically. The D is for Deutschland. So you see a silhouette of a cityscape and a 50 in a big red circle. That means that the speed limit within city limits is 50 kilometers per hour. It's about 30 miles an hour. The cityscape with the red line means out on the country roads, kind of analogous to our state highways or county highways, where it's 100 kilometers an hour, about 60-ish. That blue sign you see there with the blue 130 is the European recommended speed limit sign. For us, we would see a recommended speed limit sign on an exit ramp with a yellow speed limit sign as opposed to a white. That's recommended. So the 130 is recommended. And it's about 80 miles an hour, a little under. Well, urban legend, there are no speed limits on the Autobahn. Kind of true. If you are in default conditions, then legally you can drive as fast as you want.
Oh, that is awesome, yeah.
However, two big caveats on that. One is if you get into a wreck and you're going more than 130 kilometers an hour and the Polizei can prove that you were, by German law, it is your fault. It doesn't matter what happened. You could be doing everything right. You get sideswiped more than 130, your fault. That's thing one. Thing two is that there are actually areas that do have posted speed limits in and around major urban areas and around interchanges. So all that to say, it is possible to get a speeding ticket on the Autobahn. Ask me how I know.
How do you know? Were you going way too fast in my Porsche?
Yeah, but it was an Opel Corsa, a little bit smaller than a VW Golf. Opels don't exist in the States. Little four banger. I could redline the. I could bury the needle on the speedometer if I'm going downhill, and
Kind of like a mail truck.
yeah, pretty much. Shut up.
Bam!
Yeah, so there was one
Yeah,
day
yeah.
I had just gotten back from Afghanistan. I had just gotten a car, and I decided I was going to go down to Trier, which is about a half-hour drive-ish from where I was stationed, and going from Autobahn 1, or going from Autobahn 60 on the Autobahn 1 to go down to Trier. There's a rapid-fire speed limit deceleration, 120 clicks, 180, 60. Well, I decided I was going to blow off 60. Trouble is, there was a speed trap right there. And I'm rounding the bend, blind curve with all sorts of trees blocking everything. And the next thing I know, Polizei is waving me over. Come see here, bitte. Frick. So I come over, he starts talking to me in German, specialty English. I'm like, yeah, a little bit. Long story short, that was a 95 euro ticket, which when you make $19,000 a year is a whole lot of your paycheck. At the time, that was about 135 bucks.
Did you ask if you have something that you could do for him to get out of the ticket? Or perhaps something that Survive could do for us to get out of the ticket? Did you have a feather duster Did you have a feather duster in the back seat?
No, I didn't. I told him I was wrong because I was freaking wrong. I blew it off. The end. I paid my fine like a good guest in a foreign nation.
This is America. I don't have to pay for that. That's some BS.
It was not America. It was Germany.
No, that's what you could have said. Like,
I'm an American. I don't have to pay this. This is your country.
Oh, no. See, there's an agreement between the two countries.
I didn't sign that. I don't agree.
yes, it could get dark pretty quick. And suddenly, Big D ends up in the gulag.
And on that incredibly dark note, anyway, Kidder, we've been talking for quite a while, and we should probably wrap this up before I glue any more fingers to things. So, to do that, we of course need to hit some plugs.
Okay.
For the record, before the plugs start, you have not glued your fingers to your nose, so you're not doing that bad.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying.
I was just going to
Trying
say
to glue your
stop.
fingers to your nose. What's wrong with you?
No, I'm trying not to.
Okay, fair enough. Nice save.
Yeah. Nice save. All right. Let's get cheap. Cheap plugs indeed. First of all, our website, beerbluesbs.com. Right there on your screen if you're watching the video version. Thank you for watching us, by the way. beerbluesbs.com. That is our home in cyberspace. Please visit us early and visit us often. While you're there, click the merch button. Top of the screen. You can buy some awesome merch. Support the show. You know, buy a shirt, maybe buy a sticker, just like right here, one of these hair stickers. Perhaps if you don't get a sticker, but you want something to drink out of, get one of these. The Triple B beer glass. Yes, it's a whole pint. BeerBluesBS.com on there to remind you of the website to go to, and our classy logo, BeerBluesBS.com. For that, click on merch, and you can find the pint glasses. Many designs on there, including, yes, Big D has his very own design. You can get him on your shirt or on a pint glass, something like that. BeerBluesBS.com, click on merch. It's really a steal. I mean, for the price that you pay versus the amount of entertainment that you get out of, whether it's a pint glass or a t-shirt or a shower curtain with Big D's face on it, I mean, it just pays for itself. BeerBluesBS.com, click on merch. Also, while you're on our website, we would love for you to buy us a beer. You can buy us 1, 2, 3, 6, 12, whatever. Buy us a beer. All you need to do is go to beerbluesbs.com, click buy us a beer. You see the beer filling up. That is you helping us fill up our beers at beerbluesbs.com. You can also leave a message. We'll put it up on the screen here as the video version, and we will talk about it and thank you personally. BeerBluesBS.com. Thanks. Also, we are on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We are on YouTube for the video version and every audio platform that's out there, including iHeartRadio, Pandora, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn, IMDb, Amazon Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. There's also more of them. We're on Podbean. Join us there. Any audio platform that you are subscribed to or have the app, please, in the search bar, type Beer, Blues, and BS and hit search. You'll see our classy Triple B logo, which, again, looks like this. It has the old-fashioned microphone there with the Beer, Blues, and BS yelling out the side of it. So you can do that. And if you want to win one of those pint glasses, Howard Blues, we're doing a contest, right?
Yeah. Yes, we are. All you have to do is, it'll be very quick. 3 simple things. 1, subscribe to YouTube. 2, share a video from our YouTube channel on your Facebook page. And 3, tag us in that video. Get it all in by February 16th for your chance to win as part of the live drawing on episode 100. There. That was quick.
Howard Blues doing a cheap plug, everybody. And it's not even... Oh, yeah, it's a wrestling show. Never mind. Anyway, that is that. Subscribe, like, share. We appreciate it. Thank you very much. Can win one of those pint glasses. Awesome addition to your collection if you're like me, collecting the pint glasses and apparently collecting aluminum cans from random lemonade flavors of alcoholic beverages. All right. Aside from that, mentioned the YouTube, mentioned Facebook. We are also on Instagram. If you love to gram and you love to share the photos, follow us, please, for free at Beer Blues BS. Yes, we're on Instagram, and our claim to fame is me slapping Mike the Miz and telling him that he needs to give up his shirt because his shirt says I have massive balls. I say that he needs to give up his shirt for the kid in the front row about 8 seats down from me because that kid has bigger balls than he does. You can see it for yourself at Beer Blues BS on Instagram. I'm sure you haven't seen it yet, Big D, but you need to watch it. And please like us, follow us, subscribe to us on Instagram and Facebook at Beer Blues BS. With episode 100 coming up real quick, thanks for being part of the journey. We really appreciate you. We'd appreciate you even more if you like, share, and subscribe, because that helps us get in front of more awesome people such as yourself. So thanks for making this far in the episode. Big D, thank you very much for taking more time out of your day and being part of another show.
Always a pleasure.
Well, I'm sure it is. And with that, Howard Blues is on the other side of this. I'm the man, the myth, the legend, Mark Kidder. Thanks for joining us for this and every edition of Beer, Blues, and BS, this episode of Beer, Blues, and BS. Keep your glass at least half full. There's free beer tomorrow, and we will catch you on down that sour Tuscan Highway again. Catch you on down there, Dusty Tuscan Highway Road there, and we'll see you again on the next episode of Beer, Blues, and BS.
You have been listening to a UA production of Beer, Blues, and BS. If you enjoyed the show, help others find out about it by rating the show or leaving a review at your podcast listening service of choice. Thanks for listening, and may your glass never be empty. UA Productions presents A Glimpse Behind the Curtain.
And I think it just made my computer freak out. It's awesome. There we go. We're good.
All right. Well, gents, we ready to kick this thing off?
Kick, punt, place kick. Take your pick.
Kidder looks like he's still thinking. He's pondering. He's trying to decide, am I really ready for this? Did I drink enough while I was pre-gaming at Thomas Moriarty's?
That was Wednesday, and so no, that has worn off.
I'm gonna just say, Kidder, don't like this false advertising on our Instagram page, man.
I never said we were there now.
You imply it was kind of implied because didn't it say like at Thomas and Moriarty's? Thinking it sounded like we were there right now, ready to go.
I mean, it's not like this show is live anyway, you know. Here's what happened 2 weeks ago. Breaking yesterday, or last week, or the week before, or 5 weeks from before that.